I'm Clara Kim. I play the violin, and I've been living in New York for the last couple of years. I grew up in Boston, though, but in between those two cities, I've kind of moved around to a whole different number of cities. I lived in Europe for a number of years, and then Los Angeles, and then New Haven before finding myself in the Big Apple. And How did I find my way into music? Well, I started the violin when I was 5, and mostly my mom forced me to play at the beginning. And music was also always kind of an important part of my family. They wanted me to be able to appreciate it and have the discipline to kind of pursue it every day for a bit of time. And so after a while, I begrudgingly kind of practiced according to the rules of the house. But after a while, it was just wonderful to be able to see. I think my first kind of eye-opening experience was being able to play chamber music with other peers and colleagues. And that was just such an amazing way to see how I could be part of something a little bit bigger. And since then, I've really loved getting to know people and to play music with other people.
I was wondering if you maybe could discuss a little bit or describe what is it that you sort of bring to that experience? What is it that you sort of feel is important for you to bring to that experience?
I think I really try to bring a sense of kind of honesty and integrity to the work. And I think, obviously I want to bring myself in the fullest capacity that I'm able to, whether it's a small piece or a large piece, by whoever it is, to really bring the piece to life as best as possible. And I think just one other thing in terms of in the context of the Composers Conference, is I love to collaborate with people. So it's amazing to have a sense of being able to offer myself, not just musically, but also, kind of asking questions to the composer and being able to dig deep into, kind of honoring what the composer wrote in their music and to try to understand that and kind of delve into different layers of that work. And it's great to have that sense of like, what can we do together? How is kind of what are the impossible things that we can make possible? And what is the sense, the spirit of collaboration that we can make that I think really brings even just the final product to a different level and a different kind of energy and feeling. I think it's incredible to kind of see what happens in the moment because you never quite know. But to kind of have somebody else working on the other end and each of us trying to understand each other, the performer trying to understand the composer and the other way around to create something. And it might become something that we don't even, what you said, we don't expect it. And it might be something that maybe was not planned, but it can have a sense of spontaneity and a sense of like growth to the whole project. And I think that's what's so special about being able to work in collaboration with other people. It becomes its own thing in a way.
Something I'm always interested in is what creative people, when they do what they do in their creative life, what is it in their non-creative life or something in this particular case, a non-musical experience or interaction that sort of impacts or has an influence on your creative life as a musician?
So, well, I love working with people. So I love to meet a lot of different people wherever I go, whether it's new friends, meeting them for the first time, or meeting old friends that I, have been in touch with for years. And I love kind of, people are so interesting. They're so fascinating. I mean, each person is so unique and they have their own perspective and opinion and outlook, and kind of their brain is wired slightly differently. And it's really interesting for me to kind of see that and to, kind of also expand my own horizons based on that. And that's something that I've definitely carried with me into my musical work. Just understanding how other people work has been such a big part of what I do. I think as a musician, it's cool to be able to also travel quite a bit. I mean, maybe not right now, but normally I love kind of traveling to different places, trying new things, making sort of an adventure out of every trip, and
Oh, wow.
finding, meeting people there that are local, and seeing the culture and trying out different foods. So that's and like in terms of museums and artwork, that's also something that really inspires me quite a lot.
Sure.
Um, and I don't know if this has any impact on my musical work, but I really enjoy eating as well. So
I think that food and music those are inseparable.
great.
We had an entire conversation about that. So last year was your first year, and I was just wondering if maybe you could talk about, was there any particular event or memory that happened during that time at the conference that sort of stood out for you?
Yeah, I think there were maybe a couple, and maybe this kind of is along the lines of my own values. But there was this one night where everybody gathered at a restaurant together,
Mm.
and we just ate food, and we had a great time and sharing a meal with each other, and it felt really like a family. And I feel like that memory is probably the strongest one and has stayed, it really made an impression on me because I know a lot of the people from the ensemble, they come back year in every year. And they're some of them have been there for, decades.
Mm.
And I feel like it has a very special feeling of kind of being part of a very intimate community together, and it feels very safe and so warm. And I feel like, for music that's done on such a high quality level, it's not always the case that a festival or a conference can really bring that type of spirit with it. That was one element, and then just the other element was just the music, the quality of the music making
Mm.
is just so extraordinarily high, and being able to bring that much sort of commitment and dedication to every single piece that's on the programs. And there are a lot of pieces, and
A
some of
lot
them
of
are
cases,
really,
yes, no
yeah,
doubt.
some of them are really challenging and not so easy. But just really, aiming for the highest mark for all of them is something also that is, not again, not always the case, but it was really amazing to see people, just like good people, and the highest quality of music making that's available there, and available to the young composers who have amazing pieces being created for the conference.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your sharing. Uh,
Thanks, Kurt. Thanks for having me.
you.